Hey, what up, everybody? This is Stevie Breach coming to you. Coming home from work today, kicking around, doing much of nothing. Wanted about to head off to bed, so I can wake up in the morning and watch some football in the morning. But the one thing that I've been really paying attention to more than anything, especially with WWE Hell in a Cell coming up tomorrow, is how TNA is going to pull off this angle. I know the talk of the town is that TNA is trying to prove on what was the summer of 2011, the summer of CM Punk, where he was supposed to run off with the WWE Championship. And what started out to be an awesome storyline was quickly dissolved into just about nothing. It did lead to CM Punk turning babyface, which honestly went on for a long, long time and bored the crap out of me until the next summer when he finally turned heel on The Rock. And, I guess you could say shocked the world by hitting the GTS on him. Now, honestly, looking at it, with Money in the Bank 2011, that was a really, really cool pay-per-view. That was a really, really special match. The way that show ended with Punk running off into the sunset with the title after trying to be attacked by Alberto Del Rio, cashing in to take the title. It was a really, really fun feeling. It was a lot of, you didn't know what was going to happen next, and once the show was over, you were sitting there just really pumped. I can't believe Raw is tomorrow, and I can't wait till we get to see it again. Now, when I was at Bound for Glory, when I was watching it, when I watched Impact on Thursday, I was fired up for both of those shows. The way they pulled it off at Bound for Glory, even the way that they pulled off the angle with him coming back and wrestling again on Thursday. Some people were really sour on it for the fact that, AJ Styles fought without a contract, and that he would, try and put the title on the line when he had everything in the world to lose, with him losing the championship, with him losing his job, losing the chance to ever get paid and make, Dixie Carter empty out that huge bank account of the Carters in order to get paid. Now, what the plan is that, I guess you can say, AJ Styles is going to take the title on tour. He's going to, go do some shows around the world, putting the title on the line. And that's supposed to make us think that he's really not with the company, that he is just an independent contractor going out there finding shows to work on while he's defending the true and one and only TNA World Heavyweight Championship. Now, the people that TNA have joined sides with, that they've been able to book AJ Styles on, are promotions in Japan, run by the Great Muta, which is one called Wrestle One, and the other one is the company that Conan works for in Mexico called AAA, also a company that TNA sent Hernandez to, as well as Jeff Jarrett has found a way to get booked into. He was a title champion there for a good long while in 2011 and 2012. But that's all good, well, in secret. That TNA has sent wrestlers to these places before, since they're not seen in the United States by anything more than the hardcore fan that wants to check out the tapes of AAA and tapes of what's going on in Mexico. My only problem is with me going over and looking at the roster. If AJ Styles goes over and he wrestles for this Wrestle One company, if he wrestles anybody other than the Great Muta himself, there's nobody on that roster that even if Impact plays clips of this, or they put it on their YouTube, or AJ links matches on his Twitter account for us to go watch or something like that, there's nobody on that card that I'm going to care about, that he's defending this title about. If he's going around and he's saying that he's truly defending this title, he should be going out and he should be defending it against the biggest names in wrestling that are out there. The only problem is that there's no way in the world that TNA is going to let him go out and defend it against anybody from WWE. That's just out of this world. It's never going to happen. TNA and Ring of Honor haven't had a working developmental sort of deal where they exchange talent back and forth in years. And most people like to think that it's Rob Feinstein is the one reason why that thing fell apart. And if you don't know why, you can go check out, Rob Feinstein on YouTube, and it won't take you long to find the video that I'm talking about. Of course, these are all allegations, and nothing has been proven in the court of law, but you got videos on you about YouTube, about stuff, with a news crew chasing you down, and you've been set up. More than likely, you did something wrong. You weren't just in the wrong place at the wrong time. But that was the one thing about CM Punk. There was really nowhere in the world that CM Punk could go that could look anything to the, close to what WWE did. I really thought might happen was around the time that this thing happened when Punk left. Ring of Honor was doing their first TV tapings. They happened to be in Chicago. And I know, Ring of Honor and WWE, they've let WWE have some clips that they put on DVDs that they've shown on, clip videos of CM Punk and Bryan Danielson, and, tried to, fill in the backstory of where they came from in their career. Not like they just showed up one day in the WWE, knocked on the back door of an arena, said, hey, we can wrestle, and put us on your card. They showed that they worked the indies, and they, were able to, hold the whole company on their shoulders and work hard to make sure that they were in the main event and this company made money, that they could still stay alive and be in there today. You can see that, I apologize, you can see that CM Punk truly has a love for what Ring of Honor is. On the CM Punk DVD, he went back to the ROH school that he ran there and was, just sitting in the ring reflecting on everything that had happened in there and all the people that he had trained throughout the day. I know that it would look really, really bad if they did this, but honestly, I think it would be better if they let AJ Styles just work indie promotions around the United States, and they filmed them just using just regular impact taping, equipment, HD cameras. They came in there and they just, were able to put him up against, the guys that are out there. We've heard that the promos that he's done where, he's pissed off because, TNA is, gone in the direction of signing all the WWE rejects, and they've all come there and they've never, really paid off, and they've never really done anything. Most people point the finger at Booker T as the people that he said went there for a 2-year vacation, left and went back to where they came from, just happy that they got paid for really not having to go out there and try and do anything along the way. He brought up the names like Alex Shelley, who's a guy right now who's working in Japan but isn't working for the company that TNA has a working agreement for. He works for All Japan Wrestling, I do believe, and I don't think that All Japan and TNA has any kind of deal that they can work on. There's a guy like Petey Williams that he could go out and he could wrestle at some show in the middle of nowhere, and the only problem is, how they're going to be able to shoot this to where it doesn't look like there's 100 people in the crowd, and that this match really does matter. You can go out and you could say Sanjay Dutt, you can say, there's a lot of guys out there. My only problem is, that they go and they put them up against guys in Mexico. I didn't even mention, I looked at the listings for the people that work for AAA these days, and there was only 2 guys that were on this list. One was Juventud Guerrero Jr., and the other one was La Parca. And if you put them up against those two guys, most people who don't know anything about AAA and anything about what's going on down there are going to think that AJ Styles is just going and wrestling WCW rejects that weren't able to, reach the main event there. And it's going to make him look like he's not having a big kind of challenge to go out there and go up against. It seems like he's just going out there and wrestling, guys from the local pub, and the matches don't mean anything. These are the things that TNA needs to look into improving on this, angle that they're trying to run. It's a very complicated angle if they're actually going to go into the extent of having him wrestle other places and make us know about it, because, TNA has never shown footage of any other promotions out there, much like, in WWE. Once you leave there and you leave, you fall off the face of the earth. They never talk about you ever again. it doesn't matter what happens. It'll take, you dying and then mentioning you in sort of like a rest in peace sort of 10-bell salute deal before the show starts. And honestly, that's just about it. There's a lot of names out there that AJ could wrestle. It's just a matter of how they're going to be able to connect the dots to get him there. They are doing something special, which is something kind of weird to say since we've seen this before and it was only 2 years ago, and it's going to be very hard and very complicated. But I do think that them taking this sort of fantasy booking approach to what they're doing on their TV show, to try to improve on something that could have been the biggest thing in the history of wrestling in 2011, and try and make it better in 2013. I think it's going to be very fun. I already did go and sneak a peek at the Impact spoilers for next week. It is a Halloween show. Halloween shows are much like other, holiday shows like the 4th of July. They just happen to fall on those dates, and you just sort of, take them for what they're worth. I know that everybody was really surprised by the 4th of July Impact rating this year, but honestly, I'm not thinking that anybody's really going to go out of their way to watch this show. There is a Kurt Angle versus Robert Roode match that I will be excited to see, but honestly, I won't be watching it on Halloween. I'll be watching it the next day or maybe even the day after that as soon as I can find time to fit it into my schedule. But, we're going to have to see where we go from there. I'm not sure where the next taping is after the Salt Lake City taping that they did last week. But Impact, I guess, is going to be moving towards crowning a new champion already. And I guess that's what Dixie Carter, the character, is going to want to do, act like AJ Styles never existed. The only stupid thing that I don't like about them naming a new champion would be, especially with it being through a tournament, is that everybody knows that a heel has to win. Because more than likely, we're not going to have AJ Styles come back to battle Samoa Joe to find the true champion is. Because whoever wins this tournament has to be somebody that really stands with Dixie. Please don't be EC3. Please don't be EC Carter. I know that they want to get this guy over. I know that they want to say this is the nephew of Dixie Carter, but please don't be this guy. I was really hoping that we would have more of a heel turn for Magnus in the Sting match. She's always been really, really high on Magnus. When you read stuff about him, that he's beautiful and that he can really work, and she likes the way he talks. And I was really hoping that Magnus was going to become the leader of the Dixie train on Team Dixie. And, it could be Magnus versus AJ Styles. They've been really trying to make this guy. And if AJ really could come in and get this guy over as being sort of the goofball, no, not really goofball, but just really the guy who's following the leader, I guess would probably be a better way to say, and just, drinking the Dixie water, and that he's not really the champion, he might be, you could say, like, he could be like Dixie's boyfriend, I guess you could say, but he's not AJ Styles, and there's only one phenomenal one, there's only one true champion, and that's who they're going to have to find out somewhere along the way. I hope that this goes all the way until Slammiversary. I don't want to see this get, played out by Genesis at the next pay-per-view. I don't want to see this get built out on some Impact, sort of Clash of the Champions show that they like to run along the way. I know that Destination X did really well, but that was the first one. I don't think people knew what they were expecting. The Hardcore Homecoming? Oh no, Hardcore Justice one that they ran where they flipped the title back. I think everybody just knew what was going on and they weren't going to fall for the tricks of the free pay-per-view on TV when it was just a TV show with a name with a good main event. It was the best way to put it. But we'll have to see when this does play out, and we'll go from there. But those are my thoughts on the AJ Styles storyline and where it's going from here. Peace out.